Hey guys, this is Alek, and on the phone right now with me, I have my friend Jason. The screen's off, but he's still there. And if you want to check out his channel, it is XX Skate Mania XX. I'll put the link down below for you to check him out. But anyway, there are two things I wanted to talk about. In my last vlog, I mentioned that Nicolas Cage got arrested, specifically for disturbing the peace, domestic violence, and public drunkenness. And of all the people who would pay his $11,000 bond, it was Dog the Bounty Hunter. He's a guy who locks people up for for doing bad things, of course, but he bailed him out. Alright, Jason, what do you think of this?
To be honest, I thought it was pretty ironic, the fact that, Nicolas Cage was put in jail for domestic violence, where Dog the Bounty Hunter tries to prevent that, and by Dog the Bounty Hunter, bailing him out of jail, I just thought that contradicts his complete line of work. Because he's supposed to bring people who do these things in jail, yet he's basically giving Nicolas Cage here a freebie. Now, don't get me wrong, I think he's a great actor, and I like him as an actor, but even though he's an actor, I don't think he should be getting a freebie from Dog the Bounty Hunter. I mean, why shouldn't the other people be getting freebies from him as well?
Right.
That's kind of that's my input on it.
Right, you bring up a good point, and another thing with this is, who's to say that it won't happen again? I mean, he got drunk. Anyone can get drunk, and this just shows what Nicolas Cage will do when he's drunk, right?
Right, and I mean, it doesn't stop him from doing it again, and that's the thing people have to realize. Yeah, it's cool, to think, hey, now I got Nicolas Cage as a friend because I bailed him out of jail, but you think about it, in less than a year, he's probably going to forget about him, and, he's just going to be like, he's just going to go and resort back to his old ways, and then Dog the Bounty Hunter's going to think, geez, I was stupid for doing this, I shouldn't have let this happen.
Alright, now, there's a quote that he said. There's two parts of it that I wanted to say that sound a little weird. He first says, I am truly a dedicated fan of Mr. Cage and will not be granting interviews about my client, as he wishes to respect its privacy. So, is he a fan of friend to client? It refers to him as all of them in this article. In the beginning, it says he'll bail out a friend in need, but then in one quote, he refers to him as him being a fan of Nicolas Cage, but then calling him his client. So what is he in this sense? Is he a friend to client, or is Dog the Bounty Hunter just a fan of Nicolas Cage and was trying to help him because he's a super fan? What do you think?
To be honest, I'm going to go with the fact that I think Dog the Bounty Hunter might be using this more as a publicity stunt. Sorry, just to try and get people to think, well, this guy's cool, and to promote his show more. And I do enjoy watching his show. I like the things he does, and he tries to put people back in jail, for doing things that they shouldn't have done. But I think he should also take into perspective, that I'm just looking at this as a way, I'm a fan of Nicolas Cage, and I think he wants it to be more that he wants Nicolas Cage to be more of a friend to him, or to be a client to him.
Right.
More expressing that that's what he wants Nicolas Cage to be to him, not just that he's a fan of Nicolas Cage.
And then this is interesting. This is what Dog the Bounty Hunter said about his job, which is pretty much what it is, of course, but this is how he described it. There are two sides of my job. I release my clients after they've been arrested, and if they don't show up in court, I pick them up. So, he doesn't think the latter will be the case for Mr. Cage, but, so do you think he's saying he bails all of his clients out? So then, what is his job really? Yeah, he's a bail bondsman, but he's making it sound like he bails all of his clients out. Do you know if that's the case or not? You say you watch the show a lot.
I do watch the show quite a bit, and I would say yes and no that that's the case. I mean, obviously, if, there's someone who's doing something real bad on the streets, drugs and stuff, to be honest, Dog, I think he'll try and give him a break, but he knows that this is a consistent person. He's going to leave him on there, and or leave him in there. And like I said before, he's got to also look at, has Nicolas Cage been known for this? He's got to do his studies on the actor himself, because you don't know if he's going to resort back to this or not. So yes, I would say he bails people out sometimes for sympathy, but then I think he does have his common sense times too, where he says, as much as I'd really like to bail this person out, I just can't right now.
All right, and now
that's how I look at it.
All right, now before we go to our next story, I just wanted to mention quick that apparently his daughter Lissa was arrested on criminal property damage and harassment. Now that's another ironic thing with Doug the Bounty Hunter. His daughter getting arrested while he's the guy getting people in jail for not showing up to court. What do you think? Isn't that kind of funny, do you think, or does it not surprise you?
Again, I mean, basically it's contradicting his work, and I think he's really setting a good example, and he's messing it up completely, and that's bad for his line of work as well as for people who watch his show. So really, I'm going to have to say, I think that's something real stupid being done right there.
All right, now here's our next story. A Tea Party Republican sent a picture to other Republican and Tea Party members of the Obama family, as in Obama and then his two parents, as chimpanzees. Now, that is just unacceptable. And the first thing is he made his own caption basically in the email saying, "Now you know why there's no birth certificate." Why? How much of an ignorant asshole do you have to be to do things like that? Some people don't deserve to be in politics. This person's one of them. You don't do things like that. Yeah, there's all political campaigns where you kind of bash your opponent, but you don't make such bold, racist comments. He literally called him a chimpanzee, a monkey. Because he's black. You don't do that. What do you think?
I'm completely 100% for what you just said there. I'm not going to give away my political views on what I think about this because I like to conserve my thoughts to myself. But there may be people that I don't like, and they may be of a different race as well, but I don't go out there sending pictures of them with their faces on chimpanzees, saying like, this is how people look at you, so like,
right.
And I don't feel like that's comfortable at all for the family or for other viewers who like to watch President Obama or who like to hear what he has to say. And to be honest, as a president and as someone as higher authority and a higher level as this person, you may not like the guy. Okay, I can understand that, but geez, you have to have respect because
right.
That completely contradicts what our country stands for.
What do you mean by it contradicts what our country stands for? How does this contradict what our country stands for? Explain your opinion on that.
Like it's our country says that we have to be fair to our neighbors. Okay, and this really isn't being. He's not treating Barack Obama or our president as a fair neighbor or as an equal one of us. He's saying, that he's on a lower or lesser scale than he is, and I completely don't agree with that.
Yeah, our government says that all people are created equal, but there's still freedom of speech. So what he did may have been morally wrong, but it's not that it's contradictory to... I can see why you think it'd be contradictory because he's in the government, but I don't think that it's contradictory to the government because he was expressing his freedom of speech, but he was being at the same time. And listen to this quote.
I mean, that's where I think the respect part has to come in.
Right.
Like you said, they do have freedom of speech, but I think he also has to take into consideration, it's not just between him and Barack Obama that are hearing this. Everybody's hearing this, and everybody's seeing this.
Right, and the good part is it's giving that this Marilyn Davenport guy a bad name, because no one deserves to be like exalted for doing something like this.
Right, and you know, if you don't like the guy, then so what? It doesn't mean you have to go and express your feelings to the entire world, you know?
Right.
Keep it to yourself and know to yourself that, you know, I'm really not a fan of this guy, I don't like this guy, but that doesn't mean you have to belittle him in front of everyone.
Right. And now listen to this quote. This is the worst part. Alright, I'm going to read this quote exactly word for word, verbatim, however you want to say it, but this is the exact quote. "Oh, come on. Everybody who knows me knows that I am not a racist. It was a joke. I have friends who are black. Besides, I only sent it to a few people, mostly people I didn't think would be upset by it." Alright, here's the first thing. He's saying he's not racist because he has black friends. Does that not make you racist?
Well, I mean, yes, he may have black friends, and he may look at it as that he's not being racist, but if he looks back at what he sent to people, you know, that's just completely the opposite of what he was saying there. He's saying he's not a racist. In the meantime, he's being completely racist with the pictures he sent.
Right, and at the same time, because he's saying I have friends who are black, he's making it seem like you're racist if you don't, so that's an excuse that he's not racist. So...
And another thing is that not only is that going to be racist or offensive to other people as well as the president, but it's going to be then offensive to his, it's going to be offensive to his friends. How are they going to look at him now? You know, to his colored friends, how are they going to look at him now, after he had sent those pictures, you know? And him saying he's not a racist, that's going to be something very, very hard to believe and fix that mistake.
Right, my opinion is he doesn't have any more black friends. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Right. I'm going to agree with you there. But I can't imagine someone would do that, you know? Like I said before, there's people in this world I don't like. I try not to hate people because I really don't like the fact that I have to hate someone. But, you know, there's people I don't like, but I keep my feelings to myself about it, you know?
Right.
I don't go spreading it around to people who I know aren't going to keep it to themselves, you know?
Right, and another thing is it doesn't matter if you don't think the person will be offended, because obviously someone was, and that's why I got out here, because they were trying to, like, say, hey, you shouldn't be doing this, you know what I mean? And kind of trying to reprimand them in a public way.
Right.
But anyway, we're just about out of time, because we're almost at the limit for how long a YouTube video can be. So, like I said, my friend on the phone is Jason. His username is XXSkateManiaXX. I'll put the link down below. He doesn't have any videos up yet. He's putting some up sometime this week. And from what I understand, he's an okay skateboarder. So, why don't you check him out and decide for yourself if you think he's good, okay, or completely sucks. But yeah, it's for you to decide. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's The Notorious W. The link for that will be down below, as well as my Facebook fan page, Alek from YT, and the stories that we talked about today. So, thank you for watching, guys. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you later.